So this video then is going to take you through the SRFP when you've decided that you don't need to evaluate experience. This works really well if you are directing your SRFP to a qualified supplier list. So these are proponents that you've already evaluated their experience, or if you have a contract under $75,000 that you're directing to 3 or more vendors that you know can do this work. In either case, you may not want to evaluate anything with experience. So how can you use the SRFP process when you're in that situation? So again, we're going to start with our superhero event planning SRFP, and we're going to show you what the differences are. So we scroll down and you'll see that the SRFP itself looks much the same as what it has before. And you'll see even here we have experience still included in our table. Don't let that fuss you, because we're going to be fixing this all up in the Appendix A. So I'm going to go to my Appendix A, and I'm going to scroll down to where it says experience. And there are 2 radio buttons here. One that says evaluating experience. That's the default, because most of the time we would be evaluating experience. But the other radio button is not evaluating experience. When I select that radio button, you'll see that the whole section suddenly changes. It's now saying, giving me a couple of boxes, what is it proponent should propose, and instructions to proponents is what it is that they should provide. Now to start with though, our heading is wrong. We don't want experience, so we want to change our heading. So in this case, we're going to call this one the approach to superhero needs. Because we know if we're going to be doing an event for superheroes, that they're going to have unique needs, and so we want to have our proponents describe how it is they're going to deliver those services for those unique needs. Okay, so here it is. I have explained what it is I want proponents to propose. So we're looking at what are those unique superhero needs. So I click into this box, and when I'm in the box, you'll see I get the little scroll bar that I can scroll back and forth on. And when I'm not in the box, I get the little plus sign. So I've described what it is I want them to address, and I've given them directions. So how do the proponent intend to deliver items A through F that are in my list above? Now, I've also have a need to change the title under Section 5. It originally said approach, but it didn't make sense to have 2 headings with the name approach to superheroes needs, and then approach. So I've changed this heading to general service delivery. And in this case, I am asking them to tell us how they're going to be delivering the rest of services. Okay? And again, this is using the hardwired language where we're asking proponents to tell us what their approach is, addressing the requirements in Section 5, including anything that may improve quality, increase efficiency, or otherwise benefit the province. Now, when I have changed these headings, remember from the beginning of this clip how our headings in the SRFP and the table in Section 6 of the SRFP still said experience? If I go there now, you're going to see that approach to superhero needs and general service delivery are now the headings in this table, making it very clear to proponents what it is that we're evaluating and what the points are for each of those sections. And that's the only difference you need to worry about if you are deciding not to evaluate experience. Everything else is just the same as it would be for any other SRFP. The final word on this is that this is a work in progress. We're very interested in continuous improvement on the SRFP process and the forms. If you find that there are problems or glitches or things that are not working well for you, please let us know. We're committed to making this work as best as it can for both the ministries and the vendors. Any comments, any suggested changes that you have, please email them to procurement@gov.bc.ca. We'd be glad to hear from you.